Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe we are going over the Boar Prime Incarnon, or Boar Incarnon depending on how you look at it. Reason being is this week in Warframe, this is one of the circuit farmable Incarnons. I am actually a big fan of the weapon and totally recommend people check it out, so yeah, I thought it'd be a good day to go over it. The Boar Prime Incarnon is a base, pretty strong shotgun, and also the shotgun I've been using for Plaguestar, fun fact. But once it goes Incarnon form, as you can see, it turns into a chain beam weapon, similar to like Torrid or let's say Kuva Nukor in a sense, where it just chains to a ton of people, and that's why it's probably worth picking up for a lot of people. Really good single target and boss damage when it's in like base Boar Prime form, and then really good AoE damage and mobbing when it goes fully Incarnon form. So yeah, that's a little intro showcase. Let's go take a look at the weapon and judge the mods and how it works for yourself. Cool, now we're in the simulacrum, so we'll test out the weapons, modding, damage, and take a look at the Incarnon upgrades. Daily reminder, if you want to support the channel, like, sub, you can join the YouTube membership, sub on Twitch, or you can use Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you ever buy anything on the Epic Games Store, whether it be like Warframe Platinum, games, V-Bucks for Fortnite, or anything, it helps out, so thank you so much. As someone who's been using the Boar Prime a lot lately because of Plaguestar, it is just such a good weapon. Base Incarnon form makes it a huge boost, and it makes it so that it goes from just shooting normally to a beam weapon like you saw before. But the thing it doesn't mention is you do just turn up the heat. It goes to heat damage, even though it doesn't say it on the Incarnon upgrade. So 8 base multi-shot with 40% crit chance and 2.7 crit multiplier is really nice for the damage, but you have to acknowledge that base Boar Prime will do much more damage, which is why it's better for bossing, and then Incarnon form does more AoE, but way less overall high one-hit damage. So better Incarnon for mobbing, better base Boar Prime for just bossing. And because Incarnon gives like the base form a huge buff to damage anyways, it's a great weapon no matter how you look at it. But this is my mod setup, we're gonna go over that after. Let's first look at Incarnon form. Like I said, Incarnon form 1, it tells you it fires 3 short-range beams that chain link enemies. It has no mention of any of the heat damage, so if you didn't know that, yeah, exactly. It does heat damage. I was kind of surprised that they don't actually put it there, because for a lot of the other weapons, they properly say, hey, this does cold damage, or hey, this does heat damage. But here, just fires 3 short-range beams that chain link enemies. Either way, it does heat damage, so it's really good at killing infested, healthy enemies, and it can burn down some armor. I've chosen for Evolution 2, we take a look one by one. Increase base damage by 10, but when you reload from empty, increase base damage by another 10. Really strong overall. I think this one, Fortress Salvo, will be better for Incarnon form overall because it increases base damage by 16, but if you have high armor over 450, you get +4 punch through. Punch through I do believe generally works on beams, but I would have to double check how well it works for the Boar Incarnon, because if it just causes it to jump more, that's a good thing, okay? That's definitely not a bad thing. Either way, choose whichever you need. It is a really strong weapon. I do this because I reload and then shoot the Lephantis in the face, and I don't usually use high armor Warframes, but it's up to you. For right now, I'm using increase reload from empty reload speed. I was choosing the upgrade of increased accuracy before. Increased base ammo capacity is also really good, so do really whichever you need. If you don't really care about reload, just throw on accuracy for your Incarnon form, but on reload from empty reload speed is really nice when you're doing bosses with the base mode, so keep that in mind. Base ammo capacity is also nice, and then increased accuracy though, also nice. But the final one, increase critical chance, base crit chance by 20, and base critical damage multiplier by 0.5x. Really good there. Or you can make this thing a status god. Increase base status by 12% per projectile, increase base status by 96% for Incarnon form. So it just applies all the statuses. So there's multiple ways to build it. Or you can increase base crit by 10% and base status by a lot if you just want like kind of a mixture. If you're not going full crit or full status, I almost never take the 50-50 ones like this. Only rarely do I like to take them, but I have taken the crit one. So that's how the general of the Boar Prime Incarnon works. If I quickly spawn up these enemies, just to quickly show you, my Vulpaphyla will spread the heat damage so well, but it already does a ton of damage without even ramping up. Definitely helps. I have Primary Deadhead on to ramp it up, but we'll go over that with the mod setup now. So just let me know, do you like the Boar Prime Incarnon? Do you hate it? With my mod set, this is what we're working with. We are running a 6 Forma build with no Exilis adapter mod as of right now. But if you do want to throw in an Exilis mod, I had Galvanized Acceleration, but it would require one more Forma. So you can really just throw on whatever you feel like. I just don't have anything to throw on right now. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We do have Galvanized Hell for sweet multi-shot. I decided to throw on Prime Point Blank just for base damage, because why not? We have a Primed Ravage for critic damage, Critical Deceleration for maximum crit chance, and with the negative fire rate, it doesn't actually make it that much worse, because we also have Toxic Barrage along with Prime Chilling Grasp for high damage viral. We have Galvanized Savvy because I did want to give it a little bit more status, and this will affect the direct damage of, it's kind of like a condition overload essentially, right? So it does give it a little bit more damage, a little bit more status, but I feel like you're always good to swap out Galvanized Salvi if you don't want it, if you don't feel like throwing it on, because it's a high investment, and I feel like it's technically not as worth it as it could be, but whatever. And I threw on Magnetic Strafe here purely to add some more status damage with my fire rate. But if I had more, I would probably throw on maybe a different fire rate mod. But I don't know if I fully want Shotgun Barrage right now because that's a lot. But Vigilante Fervor is also nice. Heck, I would say you could throw on Accelerated Blast, but it's just not worth it enough. So yeah, I'm sticking with Magnetic Strafe for now, but feel free for sure to throw on Shotgun Barrage. You're just going to lose some damage, but you're going to gain a ton of fire rate with the reload from empty. Might help out a lot, but it'll eat through your ammo really fast, so it's up to you, but it probably would be overall a little bit more DPS, so hey, not bad at all. But that's what I'm running as of right now, just all of these mods. I don't have any other real build. I just copy this over in case I eventually want to swap things around. But this is what I'll just run for now. And you can, again, always swap out any of the mods as you see fit, because no matter how you look at it, this is a really, really strong weapon, okay? So if I give another showcase, let's throw on some Infested quickly. Where are you? There you are. Do still have to get my headshots for that sweet, sweet mod, but Base Incarnon absolutely destroys them, and that's without the sweet heat viral. And then when it's heat viral, they're gone in like a second. You just kind of delete them. No question about it. They do just get deleted. That's kind of the power of any weapon when it's using heat and viral right now. Then let's say if I throw on Grenier, right? Since they're armored, it takes a little bit longer. I have to shoot them out because my Incarnon form ran out. But it's still not that bad. I'm just going to keep on my Sly Vulpaphyla to help, but Sly Vulpaphyla damage is also pretty insane. But you'll see the reload from empty, it's only 1.4 seconds or so right there, because I have the 100% reload from empty on. So it totally helps out if you plan to fully shoot all of your ammo into the enemy, because it does have a really long reload speed. But yeah, that is the Boar Incarnon Prime as of right now. Insanely strong base weapon. I'm not hitting any red crits with Kurlevo, but we'll go do a in-game test, and maybe I'll throw something on that increases my crit a bit. Cheers. Okay, so now that I've got my Boar Prime Incarnon in the Warframe 1999 area, let's take a look and see how this thing does. If I throw on extra crit, you'll see that it's absolutely destroying with Citrine. She adds so much damage to something like this. I can start hitting them with insanely high red crits. All the enemies start dying. They just fall down one by one. So this is, of course, a really good weapon. You can just run around not even caring about the enemies, and from there, You can just headshot them or laser beam them, and pretty easily they'll go down in one shot. I know, Citrine seems like kind of a stupid Warframe to bring with the Boar Prime Incarnon, because, like, they just spread status and kill all the enemies so much. Like, it's insane. Look at that. There's a 0 chance of survival for the enemies. And that's base Boar, right? Now I go Incarnon mode. The only thing that I must admit is really annoying about the Boar Prime Incarnon, and a lot of other shotguns, now that I think about it, is how bad it is to build the Incarnon form. It's just a huge pain. That's kind of all I can say about that. The reason why it's a huge pain, I assume, is because there's so many pellets that get shot off. So you do have to hit a lot of headshots. So if you have a really high damage shotgun, 1 pellet, 2 pellets, right, kills the enemies. So the enemies are essentially dying so fast that you can't build up Incarnon form. And it's just a little hard. But that's not really the biggest problem. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I don't know. I'm just kind of curious how y'all think about that. But this is how good and how strong the weapon interacts in general. Especially with something like Citrine, where you just pop off status everywhere. You add a bunch of damage. And even then, without max fire rate, it still does go through the magazine fast. That's why I didn't really want to bother getting even more magazine. Just because it's such a pain when you instantly go through your entire ammo capacity. But it's a lot stronger there, right? Look at that. Look at it. Yeah, if you're hitting those sweet 300% crit chance increase red crits, almost hitting 1,000,000. Not quite, but almost. So that's why I must say, Boar Prime, Boar Incarnon, whatever you can pick up, it's really good. It's a lovely beam weapon. It might not be as strong as something like the Torrid. It might not be the best beam weapon in the game, but it does hit a ton of enemies, and it absolutely slays all the mobs pretty easily. So it has the advantage of doing everything. It has really good bossing with base Boar Prime, and then it just mobs with Boar Prime Incarnon. Even though it's not Torrid Prime or Torrid Incarnon level, it's still pretty insane. So I don't know. I think it's really good, and I totally think most people should pick it up. But if you don't like it, that's fair enough. And if you just use your Torrid Incarnon, hey, I getcha. Either way, everybody, let me know what you think. As always, if you want to support the channel, you can sub, like, comment down below, use Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you ever use the Epic Games Store. All of it helps out, so thank you all, and I will see you next time with more Warframe or Borderlands or something else. Cheers.